confident that I was wrong about all of that, all of those years ago. And so today I would like to talk to you about how much there is still left to learn and how excited I am for what the future holds. When I graduated 40 years ago, the United States had just landed a man on the moon. It was an amazing achievement, but in some ways it is overwhelmed by what has happened with computer technology. Just 40 years ago, when I graduated, there was only one telephone in each home, and it was usually located in a family room like the kitchen, not too much privacy. There were only typewriters and hand-cranked copy machines in the high schools. There were only 3 channels available to watch your black and white television. The most common way to connect with your friends and family out of town was by a letter delivered by the postman. A camera weighed several pounds, and everyone sent their photos to be delivered by companies who returned just small black and white prints in the mail. And the most reliable way to search for information was to read through printed volumes of the World Book Encyclopedia, which was sold by traveling salesmen door to door. And these were only updated about once every 2 years. Today, of course, many family members have their own cell phones, and many households have multiple personal computers, televisions, and electronic game devices. Information is truly available at your fingertips through the internet. And we are now all emailing, texting, and tweeting. And I'll bet a few of you are doing that right now. Today, advancements in technology are coming at faster and faster rates. It took radio nearly 40 years to reach 50 million consumers. It took television only 30 years to reach that many people. And when personal computers became available, it took only 4 years to reach 50 million people. But we are now on the verge of another huge shift forward in technology. Technology that will allow people to search for and find information and connect with other people instantly on a global scale. Technology will continue to create more jobs, many of which didn't exist 10 years ago, with titles like organic agriculture, nanotechnology, and new media. Earlier in the week, I participated in the annual conference for all of Microsoft's legal professionals. We invited team members from 30 countries around the world to discuss legal issues. All of our sessions were conducted in the English language, and it is rapidly becoming the universal spoken language around the world. For example, all school children in India today speak English, and within 10 years, the country with the most English speakers in the world will be China. In this era of technology, you can learn all that you want to know about Paris, or Beijing, or Mexico City, and the people there without ever having to leave Newton. And what this means is that you as graduates of this high school are not only citizens of Newton, Kansas, you all are citizens of the world, connected by the power of technology. So what will you do with your world citizenship? How will you use your passport? I hope that you will take into the world community values that you have learned here in the heartland. And I know from my own experience that they will serve you well. But I would also like to share with you 3 thoughts about how to use your world citizenship. First of all, find something that you are passionate about and become a lifelong learner. And I hope that you will try to match your passion with technology. You can work more efficiently than ever to address society's needs, to improve healthcare, to improve education, and to address our world's energy and environmental challenges. But you don't need to be a Supreme Court justice, or a titan of business, or a famous scientist, or a powerful politician to follow your passion. And sometimes you will be surprised to learn it. Where I work at Microsoft, I work for a scientist who is one of the world's experts on how to build search engines to find the information that you want on the internet. He grew up in China, and he only found his passion as a scientist when he failed to pass the physical test that he needed to learn to be a shipbuilder. He says that when he was young, even while China urged its scientists to develop technology to put that country's first man on the moon, the most noble profession of all was to be a farmer. And many of you in Kansas work in that noble profession as well. The second thing I would tell you is to take some risks, some smart risks with your life. Be just a little bit brave every day. 20 years or so ago, I called my dad, who was a lawyer here in Newton for half a century. I was working as a young lawyer in a large Seattle law firm. My dad is so proud of me. But I called him up and I told him that I had just resigned my job to go to work for a company called Microsoft. Now, I still owed a lot of money on my school loans, including some to my dad. And he had never heard of Microsoft. And many people in my law firm had never heard of Microsoft either. My dad thought that quitting my law firm job to work with a computer company was really a bad idea. So did just about everybody else. And my dad asked the questions of his generation. Are you sure that you're going to get a regular paycheck? Will you have health insurance? I was 25. Do they have a retirement plan? But I was a little bit brave in the face of that, and I took the job. And in my first week at Microsoft, I had a meeting with Bill Gates and with Steve Ballmer. There was drama. There was pacing and gesturing and raised voices and chairs that rocked wildly back and forth. And this was pretty normal for that company at the time, but for me it was a little unusual. And I sat there quietly and thought, I am really not in Kansas anymore. And I was a little bit brave, and I came back to work the next day. But my decision to leave my law firm, which everyone thought was a sure thing, to go to work for a company that no one had heard of, to work on things that no one had dreamt of, was the right thing. And the third thing that I would tell you is to do some good for the world. It is a gift, a true boon to my soul, to see firsthand the support which people in Newton give to each other. From church bazaars, to garage sales for schools, to lending a hand when a neighbor needs one. It's also my privilege to work at Microsoft and to be part of its commitment to charitable contributions, and to watch Bill Gates use technology to try to change the world for the better for people who have very little. So I hope that you find your own ways to help others. And I hope that they are gifts, not only from your heart, from your hands, from your pocketbook, but they are made, at least in part, by using some very cool technology. Almost 100 years ago, Robert Frost, a well-known American poet, wrote, "Two roads converged in a wood and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." I hope that each one of you, as graduates of Newton High School, makes a difference for your families, for your friends, for your communities, and as citizens of the world. Congratulations, Good luck.